Coordinator's Corner is presented by JCW's The Burger Boys and Intermountain Health, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
You're in the Coordinator's Corner, brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Second half hour of our weekly show getting underway now with BYU offensive coordinator and QB coach Aaron Roderick as we look back on the Cougs' Saturday night home win over Kansas State, 38-9 your final. BYU now 24-3 in its last 27 night games. It was a great night. Cougs moved to 4-0 on the year and into the national polls at 22. We say hello now to Coach Aaron Roderick. Good to be with you again.
Great to be back.
All right, you've had many, many good days and nights over your history inside LaVell Edwards Stadium. Where does Saturday night rank?
It was up there. That was shout out to our fans. That was an unbelievable environment. The place was bonkers all night, and one of their coaches that we know after the game said most of their coaches started out with one ear covering, and they tried to go to two on their headsets because they couldn't hear, and they didn't have enough two-eared headsets.
Wow.
So yeah, it was. The fans did a great job causing some problems for the opponent.
That is an interesting side note. Yeah. It was the largest home crowd in 15 years. The Rock was there early. The card stunts were cool. The place was just electric. It was a special night.
It was, and we're tough to beat at home, and again, really thankful for our fans.
All right, what was your read on K-State coming in defensively?
Well, they've been one of the best defenses in college football the last 3 years, and the one thing that was very apparent is they stopped the run. They lots of 1 and 2 yard gains against really good teams, and they make teams one-dimensional with their run defense. And so I was proud of our team. I thought we were physical, and we were able to put together enough efficient runs. We averaged 5, when you subtract the sacks, we averaged about 5 yards per called run play in the game, and I don't think anybody's done that to them in a couple of years.
Personnel hits relative to a team that's good against the run. You're down your top 2 running backs. You're down your top 2 right guards, if you want to look at it that way too. Let's look at running backs. Sione Moa gets the first snaps in the backfield for you on Saturday night. Yeah,
he played a very good game, and but I'll tell you, none of us were surprised. This is what we've seen him do in practice, and it was just a matter of when his opportunity would come. He's had a couple good players ahead of him, but all of us have sort of known what he's all about. He's a super athlete. Sione Moa can dunk a basketball any way you want. He's about 5'10". I mean, he's
that guy.
He's an explosive 3-skill back. I mean, he can do it all, and it's just been a matter of getting his chance.
Okay, you want to get your guys back as soon as you can, talking about LJ Martin, Hinckley, Ropati, but there is a bye week on the backside of this game. Is there a common sense element to, well, we've got guys that are kind of doing the job. If we can buy as much time, do you look that way, or are you really going, hey, if they're ready today, I want to play them today?
We look at it, every game is so big. It's a one-game season this week, so anyone that can help us win, we'll play them. Now, of course, we're not going to put anybody's long-term health at risk, and so there's a balance there you have to find, but we'll use every able-bodied guy we can find to go beat this team this week, because we're going to play a really good team on the road.
Meantime, you have turned to multiple guys at running back, and they're all giving you really good efforts.
Yeah, and we believe in all those guys. We said before the season that we had depth there, and I think, and got some grief from the media when we put a bunch of names. We listed a lot of names on our depth chart in preseason, and that was, we were not playing games. We were saying all these guys can play and probably will play for us at some point this season.
What is the short-term update, do you think, on LJ and Hinckley at this moment?
There's a good chance we could have both. I would say more likely that one of them finds a way in, and one of them might be another week after the bye. But I think they're both possible.
Okay, not getting a lot of attention. The right guard spot. You had Sonny Makasini in Game 1.
Yeah.
You had Austin Leusa in Game 2, and now comes a former defensive lineman in Bruce Mitchell getting a start at right guard against a really good team in Game 4.
Yeah, and all three of them played well. And Bruce, I'm really proud of him. It was his first game ever starting at O-line for us. Yeah. And he graded out at what we call champions level. He graded very highly and played a really solid game.
Good for him. That's again, you don't think, but that's an important spot on your offensive line, as everyone is, and you're going down to number 3.
It is, and but it feels like we're starting to develop an identity there again. Where we can be physical. We can get a yard on 4th and 1 if we need it. we can close out the game in 4-minute offense. And 2 games in a row now, we've closed out the game in 4-minute offense, got the first down we needed, and take a knee in victory formation. That's a big deal to be able to do that, and I'm proud of those guys.
Let's get into the game itself for a bit. Just 2 drives in the first quarter. Your third possession begins halfway through the second quarter. Fast-moving game, very few possessions. It
was, and they were using a lot of clock, and we're a team that uses quite a bit of clock, and we're okay with that. I was disappointed in our slow start. The first possession, we didn't get anything going. Second possession, we have 10-play drive and don't get any points out of it. That was disappointing. But then, the game, that second quarter was wild.
It was that.
I don't know any other way to put it. That was a wild quarter.
Your first scoring drive went 13 plays, 62 yards, almost 7 minutes. You convert on a 4th-and-1 run with Sione Moa, but the sack of Retzlaff kind of set you back to a 2nd and 22, a 3rd and 21. But it was important you get points on that drive. Made the game 6-3 as Will got you a 31-yarder.
It was, and one of the plays I want to point out was the sack. It was in a way it was bad because it set us back, and we ended up only getting a field goal. But Kansas State checked their coverage in the middle of our motion in the play. We had a good play called. They checked the motion, and Jake had nowhere to go with the ball, and he protected the football. There's worse things than a sack sometimes, and
we've seen that.
We have. Instead of trying to force something or whatever, he protected the ball, and we ended up getting 3 points, which is not a touchdown, but it's better than turning it over or having a bad mistake. Then,
after that field goal, we just saw the entire complexion of the game changed. 2 huge plays by the defense. First was a scoop and score. Now you're playing with a lead suddenly. The Tommy touchdown was massive in this one.
It was huge. Yeah, those turnovers were big. The scoop and score was big, and then, of course, the interception was huge too.
Yeah, so we're going to first see Jack Kelly popping the ball loose. We now call him Touchdown Tommy. He scoops, he scores. BYU suddenly with the lead, and then comes in another takeaway almost immediately. This next time it's a Tyler Batty pick, and now you've got the ball on the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, under a minute to go. Take us through your thinking on these plays. We see the capper here.
We had 1 timeout, and so we went with a quarterback run on the first play, got some good yards, and then went right to one of our tempo 2-minute plays. And Jake, that was an unbelievable throw versus cover 2. He hit it, put the ball right. We call it a hole shot into cover 2. Fit it perfectly in there. Haven't seen a throw like that since Zach Wilson against La Tech in 2020. I mean, that was a rope. One of the best throws I've seen in a long time.
You go down 6-0 to leading 17-6 in less than 2 minutes. All the momentum and just a wild turnaround.
It was, and the difference again is the turnovers. At the end of the day, they have 3, we have 0. You'll almost never lose.
Okay, we come back. We'll take a look at how the Cougs closed out K-State in the second half on Saturday night. You can get ready for BYU and Baylor this upcoming Saturday with BYU Sports Nation Game Days. Expanded pregame coverage beginning 2 hours before kickoff. That's 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Mountain Time on BYUtv. More with Coach Aaron Roderick as the Coordinator's Corner continues. We're brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Back with more after this. Welcome back inside the Coordinator's Corner, recapping Saturday night's big win over K-State, a win that puts BYU in the national top 25 in both the AP and coaches polls. Both have BYU 22nd. This Saturday, the 4-0 Cougs go to Waco to take on the 2-2 Baylor Bears. More on that game in our final segment. First up, we wrap up the K-State win. 38-9 the final. BYU was roughly a touchdown underdog coming in. Visiting with Coach Aaron Roderick, up 17-6 at the break. You knew the Wildcats would get the ball to open the second half. Wasn't long, though, before your offense was back out on the field. Another BYU takeaway set you up in great field position. This time it was a Harrison Taggart INT.
Yeah, Harrison made a great play and gave us great field position, and we were able to capitalize.
How much are you actually, when Harrison makes that play, are you even seeing it? Are you kind of already into?
I don't see much of it. I'm usually head down planning the next series. And this year, now we have the tablets to watch the previous series, so I'm usually trying to watch the previous series as quickly as I can and then start putting together the next series. And then I hear everybody cheering, and I look up and see Harrison running down the field. So, so unfortunately, I don't get to see our defense.
That's what I was thinking.
Play a lot.
As a result of those short fields, primarily the field position advantage was huge all night. BYU was plus 23 yards in average starting field position margin. Under Kalani, BYU's now 24-0 at home, with an edge of 5 yards or better, just an average starting field position, and plus 23 is almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the field position was unbelievable all night, and it was just a luxury for sure.
So leading 17-6, you get the ball back. You're at the K-State 27. 2 plays to get in the end zone: a Sione Moa run, then a Jake Retzloff pass. And Sione's run was nice.
Sione's run was nice, very well blocked, and then he made a good play. And then the touchdown pass was just a play we've been setting up for weeks. And the 2 receivers, Cody and Darius, executed perfectly, and Jake was able to give him the ball.
Okay. The score to Lassiter there puts you in front 24-6. Then came a SportsCenter top 10 play after the Cougars forced a punt. You're probably again into your call sheet, getting ready for your next set of plays, but maybe you weren't. When Parker Kingston decides to run all over the entire field, what was going on with you?
Yeah, that was wild. Parker is a really dynamic athlete. I mean, he really showed on this play. He dropped the ball, but once he got rolling here, you see how fast he really is. I mean, he's a legit track guy who ran great track times in high school. That was the main reason we took a chance on him, and he's proven us right. He's a really dynamic player.
And that was as big a moment as the stadium has seen in some time.
That was exciting.
All right, so it's 31-9 leading into the fourth quarter. Defense doing its job, forcing turnovers on downs, and you're just wanting to run the ball, take clock, make first downs, do it while running the ball, and you were doing just that.
Correct. Once it's a 4-score game, now you're just counting possessions, and so now it's a matter of just run the football, use the whole clock, throw it only if you have to, which really you don't have too much. I think we threw 1 or 2 passes in the fourth quarter is all, and they were I think it might have only been 1. I can't remember now, but you want to just keep that clock running and limit the number of possessions the other team has, and get out of there with a win.
And early in the fourth quarter, kind of the capper in this one here, and it was Sione Moa. You're looking for just to move the sticks, and he gets the first down and more. I thought it might have been the run of the year for BYU. Just a great run. In the NFL Network, they do a segment called Angry Runs, and I thought this was an angry run by Sione Moa for the touchdown.
It was. The play was well blocked, and Jake made a good decision. That's a play where Jake can give it or keep it, and Jake made the right decision. The perimeter blocking was good, but without question, the broken tackles, I mean, you just don't see that against a team like Kansas State. They are an excellent tackling team, and Sione just found a way. I mean, he's just, played such a great game.
Yeah, so that run says a lot about the kind of player he is, right? What can he be for you?
Well, I mean, I don't want to, try to predict too much in the future, but we have a lot of confidence in him, and we believe that he's going to be a really good player for us, yes.
Okay, only 1 offensive penalty in the game, and it wasn't even really a penalty because it was a tactical infraction. You took 5 yards to get more. You took 5 yards on a punt when you're just going to. So really, it's a clean game by the O. No penalties, no giveaways. That's what you're looking to do.
Exactly. No turnovers, no penalties, and I thought our execution in the red zone was outstanding. And again, 5 yards per called run play. Every time we're handing the ball, our running backs, we're making an average of 5 yards. If we can keep that up, we're going to have a chance to be a really good offense. And
on the whole, you matched K-State in yards per play for the night. Another team, the defense keeps them out of the end zone. You score when you get a chance to. It was one of those games that everything works complementary the way you want. It was a great team win, and I'm glad you put it that way. Complementary football is part of the way we play. You win games as a team. Field position's a factor, turnovers are a factor, special teams are a factor, and it has to all fit together nice and tight to win as a team. We've already talked a little bit about him. We'll let you talk some more about him because he's your offensive player of the game in this game. You did take the running back, Sione Moa. Sione I Moa officially, because there's a Sione Moa defensive player and an Ice Moa defensive player, but Sione I Moa is your offensive player of the game. On offense, we call him None, so that's kind of his nickname on offense. And I don't know if that's a family nickname too, but I learned it from Harvey, and that's what we call him. So None, yeah. But he played really well. He's a very good receiver. He had two catches, 2 or 3 catches, 2 of them that were really good catches and made a good play. He's a good blocker and just really solid day. And the running back room is proving to be a vital thing for you right now, isn't it? It is, yeah, because our depth is getting tested, but Enoch Nawahine came in and made some really good runs at the end of the game. As well, we still have Miles available. Pokai did some good things in the game,
And hopefully we'll get LJ and Folau back shortly too.
Okay, time again for a break. As we step away, we remind you that for your Cougar sports day-to-day play-by-play, go to BYU Sports Nation with Spencer Linton and Jerem Jordan, noon Eastern Time weekdays on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Coming up in our final segment of this week's show, we'll look ahead to this weekend's game in Waco with OC Aaron Roderick. The Coordinator's Corner is brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Welcome back inside the Coordinator's Corner, brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. BYU now ranked 22nd after a 38-9 win over K-State on Saturday night at LaVell Edwards Stadium. 4-0, BYU visiting 2-2 Baylor this upcoming weekend. Both teams 2-0 on each other's home field in the all-time series. Final segment of the show now with BYU offensive coordinator and QB coach Aaron Roderick. Before we get to Baylor, a few words about quarterback Jake Retzloff. Against K-State, he records his single-game pass efficiency high against an FBS opponent. He's top 20 in touchdown passes nationally, top 30 in passing yards and yards per completion, 31st in total offense, making strides with every game, playing really well, I think.
He is, and again, a couple of the best things he did in this game were things you don't even see, where he made a decision not to throw the ball somewhere, or I thought he protected the football really well. That was number one. And then he threw his highest completion percentage game so far, I think, since he's been here. And then it
was a 71, I think, on Saturday.
A couple of these red zone throws are plays that just executed very well, and I thought he played a really solid game.
And you mentioned the throw to Chase Roberts earlier. That's a difficult throw to make.
That's a throw not very many players in college football can make, yeah.
Okay. Jake Retzloff helping BYU to the win, 38-9 over K-State. Let's preview Baylor a little bit now. Strength is the defense, I think, on that team. There's that throw to Chase. They're top 40 in third down D and first down D, top 30 in scoring defense. Notably, they held Air Force to 3 points and only 3.4 yards per carry. They had 8 sacks on Saturday night against Colorado.
Yeah, they are. First of all, what stands out is their size. They're very long up front. Secondary, same thing. They're tall corners. They're a big team and good athletes. We've played them twice in the last 3 years, and so we know what we're up against, at least athletically. And then Dave Aranda's, one of the best defensive minds in college football for a long time, and so I'm sure we're going to get their very best.
Okay, so what stands out about the 2 games you have played with them? One was a loss down there, and the next year you got to play them back at your place and you got it back. Did one help instruct the other, and what were the impressions you had from those 2 games?
Well, the defensive schemes have changed a little bit, different coordinators. But what stands out to me just is the athleticism of the players they have on defense. You're talking about a lot of speed and size, great pass rush. They're good at stopping the run, and and last time we went down there, it was a tough day. Tough environment, tough road trip, and we need to go get our first Big 12 road win.
You're used to playing a lot of late games. Now you get the opposite end of the spectrum, 10 o'clock a.m. body clock for you guys next Saturday.
Yeah, that's a challenge. We're going to have to be ready for that.
Okay, going hard into this game, followed by a bye week, knowing there's a bye week on the other end of it, but yet keeping that edge, that hunger to go in the right way. What's maybe top of mind for you as you talk to your guys this week?
Well, top of mind is just every week is a one-game season, and you can't get too high or too low from. You can't get too low from a loss or a game where you didn't play as well as you thought, and you can't get too high from when you win. You got to just keep preparing the exact same way, treat every opponent the same, and keep that, like you said, keep that same edge. That we have a long way to go still.
But you're pleased with what your guys have shown you to get to 4-0 for sure.
For sure, yeah. We're a team that's improving. I think we're getting better every week, and we got to keep improving.
All right, good luck in the week of prep, and we'll see you down there in Waco. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, that is Aaron Roderick, and that'll do it for Week 5 of the Coordinator's Corner. For coaches Jay Hill, Aaron Roderick, and our entire crew, my name is Greg Wrubell. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Go Cougs.